So here we are yet again with another crappy ranking video, and this time I'm covering my favorite game of all time, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, and its sequel, The Sith Lords. Today I'm ranking all the playable characters throughout both games, which includes the main characters, their companions, all the temporary playables, temporary companions, all of them. The criteria I'm ranking them on is not based on how fun they are to play, not based on how well written they are, not even how much I like them, none of that at all. This is purely based on how good they are gameplay wise in a fight, with combat being the biggest factor, but skills are taken into account a little bit, even though they're not very important. I'm also ranking them based on the specific games they're in, the circumstances in which you get them, and how their effectiveness changes throughout the two games. For example, all the KOTOR 2 companions should rank higher than the KOTOR 1 companions because their level cap is much higher. There's feats they can have that the originals don't, and force powers and armor and weapons and droid parts, a bunch that are just better than those in KOTOR 1. But I'm not doing that because, for example, I think that Karth is more effective in the game of KOTOR 1 than, say, Biodurs is in KOTOR 2. So they're being ranked on how good they are in their respective games. It's kind of confusing. I'm also going to be ranking them on what I see as their most optimal builds, as someone who's played this game hundreds, if not like over 1,000 times over the past decade of me obsessing over it. This video is going to contain pretty big spoilers for both games, so you've been warned, but this is really for people who have already played through the games, maybe want to replay the games with the best companions, maybe on a harder difficulty. Now that we got all of that clear, hopefully, let me go over the tiers. Oh, I'm Pubix, by the way. That's my name. Yeah. We have a whopping 7 levels to our tier list, consisting of 28 characters. Now, I understand that T3, M4, HK47, and Canderas are in both KOTOR 1 and 2, so they'll be separated as 6 characters instead of 3 to rank each of them in each game individually, because they're plenty different and have mechanically changed along with how the sequel changed. The bottom tier is the Youngling tier, the lowest rung on the ladder. Those are essentially fodder characters that have little use and availability. You only really use them because you have to. The next tier is the Pedawan tier. These characters are permanent and completely usable ones. There's not really such thing as a straight up bad companion, as these games aren't too hard, and with the right gear, any companion can do fairly well. These are just less than everyone else. There's definitely a pattern you'll see with these and the next tier, as they all share one giant similarity that keeps them from going any higher. Next is the Knight tier. These are perfectly good companions that are great at some point, but not most of the time, but they're overall solid picks. Above them is the Master tier. This is where the really good companions come in, that all either really excel or something, and or are constantly reliable throughout the game. The second highest tier is the Grandmaster tier. These are characters who will be consistently good at all points in the game, on top of having something, whether it's availability or being busted at certain points in the game, that put them above most. The highest tier is the Master of the Order. These are the absolute most dominating playable characters in the games, with little to no flaws whatsoever. Now that we've gotten all of the introduction out of the way, let's start off with the Bantha fodder. Number 28, Trask Olgo, KOTOR 1. The man, the myth, the legend, Trask Olgo. What an absolute Chad, even if he is technically useless. He's basically a living tutorial pop-up, with his only real use being the fact that he opens the first 2 doors for you. You might be thinking to yourself, but Pubix, you absolute troglodyte. He's super useful in fighting. He already comes with dueling, he's level 3 while you're just level 1, and yeah, that's great and all, but here's the thing. You can't die. It's impossible for you or Trask to go down while he's in your party on the Endar Spire. As soon as you go to the starboard section, you can die. But before, while Trask is in your party, you can't and he can't, making him essentially useless. I'm sorry, Trask. You're still a hero of the Republic in my eyes. At least he gives you a free advanced med pack. That's pretty cool. Number 27, 3CFD, KOTOR 2. And the second best playable astromech in the KOTOR series is none other than 3CFD. There's only two, by the way. Being that orange is my favorite color in 3C is that he holds a special place in my heart. He's only available as a companion during the prologue of KOTOR 2 and serves as a slightly worse version of T3M4. Unlike Trask, he is actually required in order to beat the prologue, unless you skip the prologue. Other than that, I suppose he comes with an extra blaster pistol that's nice to have early in the game. Number 26, B4D4, KOTOR 2. B4D4 has no attacks other than his bare hands and can't be equipped with any gear whatsoever. He, though, unlike 3CFD, can actually fight people that can fight back, unlike 3C, because he can only fight harmless combat drones. And unlike Trask, he's at a point in the game where you can actually die, making him not completely irrelevant. He's extremely weak. You're probably only going to kill an enemy by lobbing grenades at them, making him statistically the worst playable combat character in both games. His dialogue is really funny though, so I like him. But yeah, he can't go any higher gameplay wise. Number 25, Biodurs Remote, KOTOR 2. Biodurs Remote has a really weak laser and low health trapped on a world with a bunch of super strong mutant creatures. However, he does have one advantage over every other playable character on this list. He's very fast. Like, not force speed fast, but still quite fast. So if there are any enemies he can run away and shoot, or better yet, just run away. He's much better as an unkillable accessory to Bodur when you run with him as a companion, but he's not playable then, so it sucks that he can't be included. Now we move up into the youngling tier, where all the characters on the list from now on are actually permanent companions and or player characters. These two are just the worst of them. Number 24, HK47, KOTOR 1. HK47 may be the most entertaining character in Knights of the Old Republic, but he's definitely the weakest companion. You'd think that him being a combat droid specializing in killing Jedi, he'd be extremely handy in a fight, but he's just not. He only gets 4 feats spread across 14 levels and can't specialize in any weapons. Droid companions were pretty screwed over in these games compared to their meatbag counterparts. They try to do things to remedy their downsides, like giving them different modules to improve their skills, and wrist-mounted weaponry like flamethrowers and stun rays, but the benefits of humanoid and Jedi companions just outweigh these by far. For example, their ability to use melee weapons, special feats, more feats, force powers for Jedi companions, so much more. HK specifically has a high strength stat that is essentially useless considering he can't use any melee weapons. He's the worst companion in combat, but also can't even make a good skill monkey considering he only gets 2 skill points per level, and the fact that you'll likely be using his few feat points to improve his survivability rather than his skills. T3M4 renders HK completely irrelevant in almost every way, and he's acquired much earlier in the game. The biggest saving grace I would say is the infinite energy shield that can be purchased for a hefty fee from Suvam Tan on Yavin 4 Station. It doesn't protect from a whole lot of damage, but can be used from your inventory menu every single combat round to make your droids nearly invincible if fighting from the back, but not against disruptor weapons or enemies with swords. And lightsabers kind of chew through them. Okay, they're not amazing, but it's something that they have that the humanoid companions don't. HK can be upgraded by the player to have 2 more defense, 2 dexterity, and even regenerate some HP, not even mentioning the fact that it requires a whopping 17 repair skill to accomplish. These upgrades do little to improve HK's spot on the list, and Canderas' base 4 HP generation from the get-go just seems like a further slap in the face to the assassin droid. I really wish that HK was better as he's such a great character, but this is just the unfortunate reality. Number 23, T3M4, KOTOR 1. The only other companion in this tier is T3, who is better than HK in nearly every way. His downsides compared to him is that he can't use blaster rifles, he can't get Master 2 weapon fighting, and he can't be upgraded to have bonus stats or health regen like HK. But on the upside, despite not being a droid specifically built for combat, he gets a respectable 8 feats, which can be used to double down on his skills mastery or make him a lot tankier and or slightly stronger offensively. T3 is the best companion in the entire game when it comes to skills, bar none, even more so than the player character, automatically coming with 20 intelligence and boons in repair, computers, and security. With feats and a bit more investment in his intelligence stat, he can even be a great demolitions expert, rounding out all the utilities in the game. Unfortunately, hacking computers and repairing broken droids can only get you so far. 99% of the containers and doors can simply be busted down instead of picking without repercussions. And the droids you repair post acquiring T3 will not be very impactful in combat, and computer spikes can be sold for much more than they're worth practically using. Demolitions is a pretty useful skill, considering mines can be used to great effect against bosses and tough fights that allow you some prep time, but again, I'd say they're worth more credits than damage they do, with the exception of deadly class mines. T3 is still a very fun companion to use though if you do enjoy repairing droids and gassing rooms, so if you want to run with him, then you're completely validated in doing so. Now we upgrade into the Pedawan tier, where the companions are still not great, but they're a lot more viable as they have more to offer. With a significant viability upgrade to both ranged weapons and droid parts, this tier is a big jump up from the previous one. Number 22, HK47 Cotor 2. HK still doesn't have much to offer in KOTOR 2 in terms of both skills and combat, but the significant boost to range weapons coming with the precise shot feats makes him a much better option. He can now actually do damage along with the wider variety of wrist mounts and modules. The new armor platings are quite good too, with the droid diatom plating letting your droids now effectively tank melee attacks. There is no longer an infinite energy shield available for all your droid companions, as it's now exclusive to T3, but HK is nevertheless improved greatly from his appearance in the first KOTOR, no small part to the large amount of crit damage he can deal, though it's pretty unreliable. He can be unlocked pretty late though, as you need to repair him with 4 different HK parts scattered throughout the game. Number 21, T3M4, KOTOR 2. T3 is also greatly improved with the general droid improvements that KOTOR 2 offers. The droid warfare upgrade obtained by the cleaning droid at Nar Shaddaa docks now even allows T3 to use and specialize in blaster rifles. Like I stated before, T3 is the only companion able to use the unlimited energy shield, as well as an HP regeneration module and an unbreakable shock arm. There's not really a whole lot else to discuss with him. Like before, he's amazing with skills, and skills are a lot more useful in KOTOR 2, with it being a more difficult game and actually giving you an incentive to not break down every container with the broken item mechanic. He can now be used as a portable workbench, which is a nice touch, and if upgraded through dialogue with way too large computer and repair skills, he can instantly regenerate all your force points outside of combat just by talking with him while he's not at full health. Which isn't the most useful thing in the world, but it's something. Number 20, G0T0, KOTOR 2. G0T0 or Goto is my personal favorite droid in the Star Wars series, but even I can acknowledge he doesn't have much over HK and T3 in terms of gameplay in KOTOR 2. He has decent availability as he automatically joins your party once you finish Nar Shaddaa, a planet that most players are going to do as their first one, which is definitely better than HK, who requires you to collect 4 different droid parts scattered across the game in order to complete him. Goto is possibly one of the best characters you can use for the Freedom Nad Temple section. He has a built-in stealth field and excels in all skills similarly to T3, allowing him to easily sneak past the alarms in the cave and possibly pick up the mines if you've invested into his demolition skill. But even if you haven't, he doesn't trigger the mines due to being a floating ball and all, is just able to glide past them and disable the alarm. Goto, I think, is the better of the 3 droid companions due to having a better mix of both skills mastery and combat effectiveness. He comes equipped off the bat with some pretty good gear and a module unique to him that, whenever equipped, gives him improved rapid shot, power blast, and sniper shot. My favorite part about him though, and what I think really gives him the edge, is his droid mind control ability. It works just like Force Confusion, and even rolls based on Goto and the enemy's wisdom stats, and if successful, which with wisdom modules and some investment in his wisdom stat makes it almost guaranteed, makes the enemy fight for you as an ally similarly to the Force Confusion power. It sucks that the biggest droid infested area in the game is on Goto's own yacht, which of course is impossible to do with him considering you acquire him directly after completing it. In short though, Goto has the best mix of combat and utility of the 3 droids, and has some special mechanics to himself that make me feel he edges T3 out. Now we're finally in the Knight tier, and no more droids will be mentioned. We have characters you might actually feel inclined to take with you now. Number 19, Fallen Bastila Shan, KOTOR 1. The Bastila that returns to your party is definitely not the one you left off on the Leviathan. Her feats, attributes, and skills have all been built differently than how you did, and probably a lot worse. She has Master 2-weapon fighting, which is awesome. Some other decent combat feats like improved power attack and toughness. She even comes with a few decent force powers like heal, plague, and insanity, but no other good support powers like force speed. The half-eaten cherry on top, though, is the pretty good equipment she also comes with, like the Master Robes, Sith Power Gauntlets, and a Verpine prototype shield. I do think that this Bastila is much worse at this point than the one you left on Leviathan in terms of where you are in the game, and is really limited by the fact that she comes at level 18, allowing very little customization. She can't do much damage comparatively, she can't support herself or you, she can't tank, and because she's dark side, you can't use any items or robes to boost her wisdom, so she'll never land any attack force powers. Not only this, but she's also required to take with you on the Starforge, only leaving 4 other mediocre companions to pick up her slack. At least Zalbar can do some damage, at least Canderas can tank, but she can't do anything but heal you. If they had Bastila return to you in the same state she was when she left, she would be infinitely better. But because of that, she is the worst non-droid permanent companion on this list. Number 18, Mission Veo, KOTOR 1. A lot of people rank Mission near the top, if not at the top of their list, but I just don't get it. Mission Sneak Attack can do some pretty crazy damage in late game, combined with a high wisdom built Jedi character. She can go around nearly one-shotting every enemy, but until so deep into the game, she is mediocre. She's amazing with demolitions, and yeah, that's basically it. She doesn't do much damage compared to your stronger companions until her sneak attack levels up enough, and she has one of the lowest HP counts of all the companions. Once she's high leveled though, and you've been able to invest in some offensive feats, as well as give her some high damaging weapons like the Baragwan blades, she can be a powerful glass cannon. She's also likely the only character aside from your player character, if you've invested in it, to be able to recover the plasma vents on the mysterious planet, and those things are devastating against Malak. Number 17, Canderas Ordo, KOTOR 1. Canderas is a good companion. He has good stats, a unique ability that allows him to regenerate 4 HP every 6 seconds. However, by the time you get him, it's bad. He's pretty useless. You're forced to use him in Davik's estate, and you'll likely be using him on Dantooine as well. But once you get Bastila back, there's really no reason to continue using him. He's never particularly great at any point in the game. He's just incredibly average throughout. He has a pretty high strength stat, but comes with some horrible feats. He specializes in the most sparse weapon type in the game, heavy weapons, and comes with improved rapid shot. And while he does have toughness already, he doesn't have any ranks into dueling or 2-weapon fighting. Canderas is just an unfortunate case of being available too late and not being built right by the developers themselves. Despite this, he's still a tank soldier character with high strength, so while he may not excel, he'll still perform perfectly fine. Number 16, Mandalore, KOTOR 2. Mandalore essentially suffers from the same problems as he did in the first game. He just has a few more upgrades. You can now change his implant to focus on something other than HP regen like Constitution or Strength, and he's even tankier with his unique feat giving him extra defense. His biggest downside is that he can't equip any other armor than his Mandalore armor, though it's pretty good and fully upgradable anyways. They've added a bit more improvements to him than downgrades since the first game, so I think he edges his old self out just a bit. Number 15, Zalbar, KOTOR. Zalbar is just a pretty good early game tank that falls off a little too fast, unfortunately. You can give Big Z max toughness and upgrade his dexterity whenever you can to try to keep him alive later in the game, but it's still pretty difficult. He's quite good in the early game with his whopping 20 in both strength and constitution, making him a decent frontline tank throughout Terrace. Once you get off and start fighting enemies with lightsabers, giant packs of Cath Hounds, he'll still be a solid choice, but not exactly optimal. He unfortunately can't equip any armor nor headgear, so while his health may be high, he will be getting hit a lot and getting hit very hard. He can make a decent skill monkey though, with 3 skill points per level and having boons in all of the more useful skills due to being a scout. Also, because he's a scout, he'll automatically get access to higher level implants while he levels up, allowing you to make him a bit tankier or even regenerate health. It's a shame that he and Mission have absolutely no chemistry gameplay wise, because it's really fun to venture out with a duo. Now we approach the Master tier. This is where the actually really good companions are. They're all definitely flawed in one way or another, but will not disappoint if you're looking for a strong companion option. Number 14, Biodurs Cotor 2. Biodurs is an interestingly designed character. He is fantastic at skills and gets what feels like unlimited skill points in all useful skills. In combat, he is quite squishy, but naturally progresses down the unarmed specialist feat line, as well as having a unique attack that allows him to instantly take down enemy energy shields. You acquire him really early in the game on Telos, and he can be turned into a Jedi Guardian if his influence gets high enough, which helps him be a bit tankier and stronger in combat with the cost of him losing further growth as a skill monkey. All this sounds really good, but there is one big thing keeping him at the bottom of this tier, and it's the fact that he cannot wear any Jedi robes nor Jedi armor. The only upgradable Jedi-friendly clothing he can wear is the Paragus mining uniform, which does fine with upgrades, I suppose, but without the ability to wear other actual Jedi robes and armor, he just can't go any higher than the other companions. Number 13, Meera, Kotor 2. I honestly don't know what to say about Meera. So, okay, she's good with skills, demolitions specifically. She comes with a unique but kinda useless wrist-mounted weapon that can shoot little missiles and darts and stuff. And she can be turned into a Jedi Sentinel, which is definitely the worst of the 3 Jedi classes, but that doesn't mean it's bad. The party can't trigger mines while she's the leader, which is pretty useless too. She's just a decently well-rounded companion with no real flaws and just things that should have been improved on. So if you want a solid blaster-wielding Jedi on your team, Meera's a fine choice. Number 12, Atton Rand, Kotor 2. Okay, so think Mission, but if she could be turned into a Jedi Sentinel. Atton's skills and general combat performance are better early game than Mission's, but still not amazing. However, it's actually good to keep him a scoundrel for an extended period of time before turning him into a Jedi so that his sneak attack feat gets stronger. Then you have a lightsaber wielding sneak attacker that can even set up his own sneak attack scenarios with his force powers. Until his sneak attack levels up high enough though, he's not a great option. He is really easy to gain influence with though, as he pretty much likes everything you do, so you can make him a Jedi as early as you want. Also, it's not a big deal, but he has a unique ability to revive shortly after being downed as long as another party member is still alive. It's not too impactful, but it's a welcome, unique ability. Number 11, Disciple, Kotor 2. Disciple is a mid-game soldier that can be found on Dantooine and recruited if you're playing as a female Exile. He comes pretty freaking stacked with really good feats and a high HP count, improved to weapon fighting, improved toughness, heavy armor proficiency. For who could possibly be a late game companion, they sure do their best to help him catch up. He has a super weird Jedi transformation though, turning into a consular. You'd think this would be really good. He gets a lot of strength, feats, and HP from his time as a soldier, and then he can improve rapidly in force powers department once he switches. But his abysmally low wisdom stat keeps him from actually getting much better past just giving him the force speed powers so he can get really high melee damage. He's just so badly designed. He could have been turned into a guardian and kept this shtick going, but instead his progress gets kinda halted, a missed opportunity. Number 10, Handmaiden, Kotor 2. Literally just a better disciple. She starts off with nearly the exact same feats, but also with the unarmed specialist chain as well as a unique Achani strike chain of feats improving her unarmed abilities further. She turns into a Jedi Guardian, allowing her to continue her straightforward tanky, high strength niche throughout your playthrough. She's just extremely solid and will serve her specific role better than nearly every other playable character in KOTOR 2. Number 9. Bastila Shan, KOTOR 1. What's better than a companion that can turn into a Jedi? One that's a Jedi from the start, even if she is just a Sentinel. Light-sided Bastila can be acquired late on Terrace and joins at the low level of 3, allowing you to customize her a bit once you get her, considering your level will likely be at least a few higher. She comes with regular 2-weapon fighting, but can get improved 2-weapon fighting easily. On Terrace, she is really good, being your first person able to wield a lightsaber, and a double-bladed one, no less. Bastila has one big flaw though, which is her availability. While she is available pretty early in the game, you can't use her for, depending on the order you do the quest, most of Dantooine nor any of Korriban. And after you complete the Leviathan, she becomes permanently unavailable. Luckily though, you'll most likely have other Jedi companions to replace her with by then, if they haven't already. Number 8. Visus Mahour, KOTOR 2. What could be better than an early game Jedi Sentinel that leaves late game? An early game Jedi Sentinel that stays for the whole game. That's Visus. And she essentially is there to fill in what Bastila's role was in the first game. That's it, she's just good. She does come at level 6 instead of level 3, but with some more feats and powers. She has really good dexterity, she has horror, and yeah, I don't really know what else to talk about that's not already been said with Bastila. It's just that she sticks around long term. She's a really good companion. And you can even use her on the Ravagers, so that's pretty cool. The Grandmaster tier, the best of the best companions, except for one. And who you definitely should be using if you just want to beat the games with as much ease as possible. Number 7. Karth Onasi, KOTOR 1. This man is an actual early game professional chef. He absolutely cooks the competition and doesn't break a sweat. He's your first permanent companion, being acquired right off the bat in Terrace, and is equipped with a literally statistically impossible set of feats with both improved weapon fighting and blaster pistol specialization. A pair of blasters and a good old power blast are enough to dominate just about any fight on Terrace, and even after Terrace, he remains a very respectable companion that can tank and provide good cover fire. His damage will of course get worse over time as you start acquiring Jedi companions, but he'll still perform well throughout the game. I recommend just investing into his dexterity for higher hit rates and improving his power blast, as when it comes to dual pistols, it's just likely his most optimal build. I wish he had some sort of unique ability like Canderas' HP regen or Atton's revive, but he's pretty great as he is. Number 6. Juhani, KOTOR 1. If you're needing a strong tank to rush into the front lines and mow down the enemy, you'll be hard pressed to find someone better at it than Juhani. Juhani is recruited on Dantooine as a Jedi Guardian, if you don't kill her of course, and is pretty amazing. She has decently high strength, a lot of HP, and good dexterity. She's only level 6, but still comes with force speed, force aura, and toughness, letting you know right off the bat how you should be using her. Just give her a really strong lightsaber, max out her force speed, maybe even max out her force shield, and just let her tear apart the opposition. She's a very straightforward character. She does have a weird unique ability where she doesn't need a stealth field generator to stealth around, which is completely useless, but I guess she's a cat, so she's supposed to be sneaky. I don't know, but the way you're going to use her is going to be anything but subtle. Number 5. Jolie Bindo, KOTOR 1. Jolie is the complete opposite of Juhani. No physical, all spiritual. He has the lowest HP in the game and horrible skills potential, but a whopping 15 in both wisdom and charisma. He's a one-trick pony, but incredibly effective at that one trick. He's a Jedi Consular, so he'll get a lot of force powers, and it's even harder for enemies to resist them. Just have him immobilize every enemy on the field while your attackers and sneak attackers wipe them out. He's a textbook support character, being able to give buffs and deal out force attacks and stuns while barely draining his force points. And on top of all that, he's neutral line character and therefore doesn't face any penalties for using light nor dark side force powers. Jolie is amazing and makes you wish you had built your own character with less wisdom, as now you feel useless. Number 4. Hanhar, KOTOR 2. Talk about a step up in terms of Wookiee companions. Hanhar is an absolute monster in combat. The Wookiee toughness feat that buffs Zalbar's damage resistance and HP in the first game is on Hanhar in the second game, but now it has 3 tiers, with tier 2 being unlocked as early as level 9. It buffs the damage reduction from 2 HP to 5 plus 5% of the total attack power, and increases the amount of health per level from 2 to 3. And at tier 3 it's buffed even more to 8 damage reduction plus 10% and 4 extra health per level. Hanhar is basically invincible and improved from Zalbar in every single way except for availability. On top of this, his attack is actually really competitive with your Jedi companions even, as he has a unique ability that functions like a force power called Wookiee Rage, that gives him an extra attack like Night Speed and increases his strength, HP, fortitude, and will saves, and even more damage the more enemy he kills, all at the cost of just -2 defense. On top of this madness, he is also pretty good with demolitions, being given a decent amount of skill points every level to boost any other skill you wish. Everything about Hanhar is just phenomenal. His only downside is he is acquired towards the end of Nar Shaddaa, similarly to Goto and Meera, and is exclusive to only dark side characters without mods. Finally, we are at the top 3 best playable characters in the KOTOR series. Ooh, who's going to be the third one? Who's it going to be? It could be any companion. It's Craya. It's obviously Craya. She's the only non-player character left. Number 3, Craya, KOTOR 2. Craya is everything Jolie was and more. Now KOTOR 2 enemies are a lot harder to effectively use force powers on than the ones in the first game, but Craya's extremely early availability and boost she gives the Exile are just way too good. While she's traveling with you, she also boosts the party's EXP gain, which is just insanely OP. Also, due to the force bond she shares with you, any buffs that you receive are also applied to her and vice versa. You can just have Craya in the background buffing herself and you shred the opposition. The worst part about her though is the fact that she can only use one-handed weapon, as she, well, only has one hand. But she still progresses through the unarmed specialist feats, so still has a reliable non-force powered offensive option. She is also the one who reclasses your character into a more advanced Jedi class, which without her in your party, you can't do. She does leave your party eventually, but it's like near the very end of the game, and it's not like she's missing much other than the short Telos battle and the Ravager. Craya is so incredibly good, and the developers definitely did this on purpose, as they want you to take her traveling with you. Number 2, the Exile, KOTOR 2. I decided to rank the Exile under the Mysterious Stranger because she starts off as a Jedi. I know that sounds really weird, because this entire time I've been saying Jedi are better than non-Jedi. Look at the people at the bottom, look at the people at the top. But just let me explain. Early level Jedi are very weak when compared to, say, a early level soldier. Low amounts of force points, worse physical stats, they make Paragus a nightmare. The best build I believe you can do for the Exile is just going all out and being a physical tank. High strength, high constitution, dexterity, melee weapons, lightsabers, going around mowing enemies down. It's harder to do on Paragus, but once you get a lightsaber and Night Speed, you'll really find your footing. The problem with going all out on a force-focused character is how miserable early game will be, as well as the redundancy with Craya as a companion. Plus, the final boss is an absolute nightmare without a physically overpowering Exile, as Craya is essentially immune to any force-powered attacks you throw at her. I don't like mixed builds of physical and force-focused characters because you just really won't excel in either. You'll just be mid, that's it. But anyways, the Exile is obviously the best playable character in KOTOR 2, but I think that the protagonist of the first game is just a better character in his respective game than the Exile is in hers. Number 1, the Mysterious Stranger, KOTOR 1. Yeah, you're busted in KOTOR 1. Want to save your levels for more force powers? Go ahead. Karth will clear terrace for you, unless they have an energy shield. Want to go all out as a physical beast? Even better. Mow anyone and anything down in your path. Oh, you got damaged? Well, thank goodness for the rapid transit system. Want to do a mixed build? I wouldn't recommend it, but sure. Karth on terrace carries the enemies, and they're a lot easier to use force powers on in the first game than in the sequel anyways. Demolitions expert? Malik stands no chance. I think you get the point. KOTOR is an easy game, and a lot of it is due to how crazy strong you can make your player character from the get-go. Give yourself a crap ton of feats as a soldier and then start dominating with a lightsaber as a guardian. Run away while Karth blasts everyone as a scoundrel or scout and then bully everyone as a consular. The cross-class possibilities are endless, so as long as you're building your character in an optimal way, which, like I said for this list, I'm assuming you are, you'll be breezing through the game so easily that you'll wish BioWare ended up implementing that impossible difficulty. And that's KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic. So, yeah. Thank you a lot for the large amount of views. I mean, it doesn't really seem like a lot in the grand scheme of things. Like thousands of views isn't a lot on YouTube, really, comparatively. But for my first two videos, what are essentially my first two videos, that Juhani video. But yeah, I'm not expecting a lot on this one, but I really wanted to make it because I love KOTOR. I love the community for KOTOR. So what should I do next? I was thinking I could do the Jade Empire companions next, because that's another game similar to KOTOR that I love. I might do KOTOR again, maybe not immediately after, but I might do KOTOR again in the future, maybe based on how much I like the characters outside of gameplay. Maybe back to Arkham even. I don't know what I'll rank, but maybe if you guys want it, I'll do it. I don't know, but one or the other should be out within a month, I think. I hope so. Maybe don't count on it. I just finished school for good, like I think I said in the last video. I don't remember, so I'll likely have more time to work on these videos, but who knows what the future holds. I'm job searching right now, so we'll see. Thanks for watching. Like and sub or whatever. Hopefully I will see you in the next one. Yes, I hope so.